guys, how's it going? And welcome to episode 32 of Tazzcraft Season 2. Half a stack of Tazzcraft episodes. And unfortunately, the last episode. If you haven't seen the announcement video where I talk about this kind of stuff, definitely be sure to check that out. It'll be in little iCards up in the corner up here somewhere. And yeah, today I'm going to be doing the last episode of Tazzcraft Season 2 for me. Of course, the other Tazzcrafters are still on the server making videos, building bases and all that, so be sure to check them out. But yeah, I am going to be leaving this server, and if you're wondering why, again, reasons are in that announcement video, so please go check that out, otherwise you will be very out of date with this whole thing. But anyway, what I want to do in this episode is show you some progress that I made off camera, kind of. I did record a video, but it was in the tone of I want to get this over and done with so I can move on with my life. So I decided to not edit those and upload them because, well, I don't want this series to end like that. I've been loving this series so much. It has been so much fun, and I would hate if the final episodes were to end like that. And for some reason there is some serious server lag going on. I am not sure what is going on in the slightest, but I'm going to have to light up this area again. You know, here I was thinking I did a really good job of lighting up the area, but I guess not. Anyway, if you're wondering, the hero of the village, I got that advancement from TNT. He asked to borrow a flint and steel, and he came through the portal and started a raid accidentally. But we killed it together, and I got a few totems undying from it, so I'm not complaining too much. But, yeah, so basically what I'm going to be doing in this episode of Tazzcraft Season 2, the final episode, what I'm going to be doing is going around showing you the projects that we have done, and the projects that I have wanted to do, and I'll be doing a tour of the Tazzcraft V2 world. That's right, my Tazzcraft testing V2 world, where I've done all the experimenting for this series, and where I have gone ahead and planned out the whole base, pretty much. So, yeah, anyway, so, let's start the tour right here. So, first of all, we have the storage system, of course, and as much as this sucks, I think I'm gonna have to drink a bucket of milk. How annoying would it be doing the tour going, alright guys, so, yeah, we can't see a thing because these swirls are all in my face. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna end up drinking a bucket of milk to get rid of that one. I know it might hurt a lot of you guys. It's gonna hurt me because, well, it took a little bit to get that effect, but it's gone. Okay. No more annoying swirls except for the haste ones, but they're not too big of a deal. Anyway, now we're actually going to get on with the tour. So, starting off here, we have the storage system. So, this was meant to be kind of like a semi-permanent, mostly temporary type thing. Good job. And yeah, we're basically just going to have use this for a while until we build an auto sorting system. I can never say that. Down in the reverse teacup base right over there, which I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it that, the reverse teacup base, because, I mean, why not? Anyway, we got some furnaces, some smelting bits, and, oh, I got some iron in here. I didn't even realize that. Okay. Well, I will take that. Anyway, yeah, so this was only going to be a little bit temporary, but it ended up staying, and I put the dragon egg right up there as well. And we've got a bed and a couple shulker boxes and all that. Moving on, over here we have the head dungeon. So, this was, head dungeon / memento room. This is where we have the heads and the mementos for, basically, yeah, throughout the whole season, we were creating these mementos. From as old as First Blood by Mob Spawner, no, Fish Cooked by Idiocracy. That was one of the first ones. I borrowed a mending rod from Tasman and accidentally cooked it in a furnace and cooked this fish. So yeah, I decided to make that a memento. Overpopulation, we got Very Big Dig. We got quite a few in here. One of the most recent, No Boy Cried Wolf. I don't think I ended up showing that in an episode. Basically what happened is I had started that sheep farm that is over the other side there, which I'll show you in a little bit. And then a wolf came and killed them all. And so, you know the old saying, the boy who cried wolf? Well, I decided to make a thing that says, no boy cried wolf, because there wasn't a single boy that cried wolf That would have helped me a lot, but I guess I guess not. Anyway, yeah, so that's that guy right there. We've also got a bunch of heads, bunch of villager heads, and all these guys right here. And unfortunately, we didn't get an Elder Guardian head to go there, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. This was one of my favorite episodes. I just went in and went, hey, let's go in this area and let's just build a little head dungeon. And it turned out really cool. And I'm really happy with how that build went. And it turns out the server lag is a lot less. Wonder what was causing that. Anyway, in here we have a little temporary melon pumpkin farm. Not too much to say about that one. And over here we have the kelp cooker. This is what I'm calling this place. I don't think I ever called it that on camera, but this is the kelp cooker. Cooks up all of the kelp from this farm with... Oh, that is not good. All the kelp from that farm, from all the bamboo in this farm. And obviously, it's not super efficient. You can see I do lose quite a bit of fuel, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and put that in there, But anyway, yeah, this is pretty much where I've gotten a lot of my fuel for the furnaces over there, and yeah, it's turned out pretty well. Now, if we head over here off the beating path a little bit, and head over to here, this is a carrot farm that I built. Well, actually, I didn't build it. My friend built it. We did a little bit of a swap over episode where I did one of his videos, he did one of mine, and this carrot farm turned out pretty cool. I really like how this thing looks, and it was very useful in breeding up all the villagers, which was kind of like the main thing for this season of Tazzcraft, which was awesome. So, yeah, again, thank you for that, and, yeah, that was a pretty fun episode. I definitely recommend checking it out. Anyway, now moving on, if we head over to the other side, of the sorting system, or the storage system, not sorting. Up here we just got some temporary stone chests from digging out the slime farm that is right down here. This is a slime farm, and this was one of the more recent projects we finished on the Tazzcraft server. I did want to do a little bit more with this, which I will show you when we go into the Tazzcraft testing v2 world. But yeah, so this was a slime farm and it works really well. I'm going to show you the drops from that in a little bit. But yeah, anyway, now I'm just going to show you some really quick. We got the cow farm and a couple skeleton horses. There's still one at the end portal, and I swear there were only 2 here before, but now there's 3. That is really quite confusing. Anyway, there's still one at the end portal. I tried to transport one back a while ago, but then it died on me, so I decided to leave the other one there for now. And I guess we could still end up going for that. But, yeah, anyway, little chorus fruit farm, not too much to say about that one. We have the sheep farm. This was kind of like the redemption. I didn't really bother breeding up the sheep too much because, well, the wolf already killed them all. And I made this, which is a fully automatic sheep farm. It's tiny, but produces a lot of wool. 24 white wool. And I've played on the server for maybe, that would be about 20 minutes? 20 minutes of... of that farm working? No, probably closer to half an hour. And that's really impressive. Anyway, moving on here. This was going to be a project similar to the head dungeon over there. Basically, I was just going to go in and build like a vault type thing, because in these shulker boxes are, bam, all the valuables I got from the end cities. And there's some pretty good stuff here. Like, that is really good, that is really good, that's pretty good, and a bunch of elytra and all that as well. Really quite awesome. Protection 4, fire protection 4. That is amazing. Yeah, there's some pretty good armor in here. So yeah, it's unfortunate I never got to build that little vault down there, but I thought it would be a pretty fun project, and I might consider doing that in my own time, because I probably will still keep playing on the server. I just won't be making videos on the server, and won't be playing on the server nearly as much. And I forgot to mention that down here we have the auto enchantment table thing, and oh, I need to patch that up. Okay, just give me a second. Let me just go ahead and nope, in this chest. No, it is in this chest. I forgot about that. I think it was only 2. Let's place them back. There we go. Okay. So this is the enchantment room. Oh, we need 1 more. Are you serious? Okay, let's just grab 1 right there. This is getting a little bit frustrating, but there we go. Alright, so that kind of makes a little bit more sense. But this is the enchanting room. You can see we hit this button and we get 3 lapis from under the enchantment table, and we can just throw it behind to get it back into that dropper. And this was a really fun episode building that. It was a pretty redstone heavy episode, but I really enjoyed doing that one. Anyway, after that, we have not too much else except for one big project, and obviously we'll get to all this stuff in a second. But over here we've got some AFK fish farm chests from when I AFK fished in here, which is the AFK fish farm. I've still got some loot in there, not in that chest obviously. And this is where I put all my gear before I go AFK fishing, because you don't want to go AFK with all your gear on you, otherwise, yeah, that won't end up too well. Anyway, now over here is where the real part of the season has begun. And down here, we have the villages. Oh, that's a bit of a hole. Yeah, don't mind the hole. Anyway, in here, this is where we first started doing some breeding of villagers. And there was actually a bug in the game at this time, where basically villagers would breed infinitely. So I had way too many villagers in here, and had to end up expanding the place down below, which is what you just saw just before. Get back in there, mate. No escaping. Anyway, now if we head over here, I've got a little network of secret tunnels going into places, I guess. This being one of them, and this is where the main villager breeding happened, and I had to kill off a lot of them because there were way too many. And unfortunately, a lot of them disappeared. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but heaps of them disappeared when I went AFK one time, and I'm really not too sure what happened. There were a few left, but most of them were just gone, and I'm really not sure why. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much for the villagers right there. And down here, I've kind of kept this guy separate because he needs to restock and all that. But if we head over here, this is like my secret guy right over here. We have, boom, Mr. Mendo. He's got a 10 emerald mendings trade. Wow, from memory that was 15 emeralds. Ah, that's quite interesting. Anyway, 10 emeralds from mending book, that's pretty good. It was 3 emeralds at one point before they changed it, and then they changed it back. So that kind of messed with it a little bit. My original mending guy for 1 emerald did end up disappearing down there, so I'm not entirely sure what happened with that. But anyway, before I get onto this project here, I want to show you this little tiny thing over here. This was the recording studio. Yeah, basically, whenever I had to record a clip or something, I was going to do it in here, but I don't think I ended up actually doing it. Yeah, I originally built this because I did an episode with Mikey Perion, and, yeah, there was a lot to explain, but then the footage wasn't that great, and I decided to scrap the video. So yeah, unfortunately, that video never came out, but, yeah, that's pretty much it for that guy right there. And now before we get to the big projects, I thought I would show you a couple more tiny little temporary ones. We got a little netherwart farm here I made to get all the red nether brick for the slime farm, except I never ended up using red nether brick, so this became a little bit redundant. But yeah, and then the last little temporary farm that I don't think I ever showed off in a video is somewhere up here. I don't think I ever went to it after I ended up building it. Yep, it's down here. The cocoa bean farm. This is where, yeah, you can farm cocoa beans, I guess. Don't know how many you'll need, but yeah, it's kind of a fun farm to make, and yeah, I just decided to put it there, just in case I wanted cocoa beans one day. Anyway, now it's the moment you've all been waiting for, the villager database. Here it is. This is the beginning of the system. Well, it's about halfway in, I'd say. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finishing this. I really wanted to finish this, but it would have been an extra probably 7 to 10 episodes building this thing, because we've done a lot, but we have a lot to go, and I'll show you that later in the video. But yeah, for now we have all the rooms in and the lamps, which don't actually work at the moment, but yeah, we do have all the rooms in, and it is functional, all the rooms. We can disable this and enable it for villagers to exit the system and whatnot, and it does work in that sense. And also these droppers do have the top, right, and, you know, left and all that for all of these droppers, for the item filters that go into the thing that I never ended up building quite yet. I will show you the design for all that later on in this video in my it's in my regular redstone testing world. But I'm about to show you something that has a lot of redstone involved. A lot of redstone. You can get a quick glimpse of it right there. I'm going to walk in there with my head down, with my back to the redstone. Whoa, okay. If we head over here, you got a little glimpse of it again. Let's do a dramatic reveal. Boom. There it is. And there's a creeper. That is terrifying. Mobs can actually spawn in here. I have tried to light it up a little bit, but clearly it hasn't worked too well. So, yeah. But anyway, this is the beginnings of the system. I've got all of the T flip-flops that store the things of the villagers right there, and all the redstone lines that are going out, and I've started putting the pistons, or the pistons that go into the redstone line going out are right here. And I remembered halfway through building it, I started building it like the top layer is built over there with pistons and observers and stuff, and then I realized there's a trick with leaves that you can use, so I decided to start using that and put that in this system, and it works quite well so far. Everything that I've built is functional at the moment. However, I never ended up finishing this, but I do definitely want to finish this in my own time. I think that would be really cool, and I may possibly do another video where I show off the whole finished thing. Maybe that'll go up on the second channel, not too sure, but there is a slime on the slime farm. Awesome. Yeah, anyway, so now I'm going to move on to the reverse teacup. Right above the reverse teacup, you can see the mob farm, and we've got two AFK platforms above that. The bottom one is not as efficient as the top one because it loads all the ground for mob spawning and whatnot, but the top one is more efficient because it doesn't, it's more than 128 blocks away from the ground, but not from the spawner, so pretty much we get maximum efficiency from that spawner when I'm the only one online, which is a little, it's fairly often, as you would have, as I mentioned in the announcement video. Anyway, yeah, we've got this guy here with my modified design of whoever designed this. I'm not too sure. Ilmango? I don't know. I say different names every single time, but yeah, I'm really happy with this mob farm, and I love how this shape is in here and stuff. I really love that shape and all that. This has been one of the most natural bases for me to build ever. It's been so natural to just go around and put in all this and design everything. It's been absolutely amazing, and I really love the building style of this. But yeah, anyway, now into the reverse teacup. We have the outer ring here, which was going to have a few more things, a villager trading area and other stuff like that. Unfortunately though, we never got around to building much of it except for the super smelter. So we have a super smelter right here. Did I end up putting anything in it yet? No. I have put stuff in it, obviously. I've smelted up a lot of things in there. And yeah, it's kind of awkward just sitting there, but I think it looks kind of cool. So yeah, that's one of the things. Right down the middle here is the main tube. This is where all the items flow in from the farms, from the mob farm and the slime farm, that is. Never ended up making any more automatic farms, but yeah, now down here into the bottom layer, you can see right close up, you can see where the slime farm comes out, right down there. And over here is the villager selector panel for the villager database right here. So if we press one of these buttons, you can see both those lamps turn on, but there's nothing I can do about that one, but that lamp stays on. And you can see that does it for all of the ones that you press. It stays on, and it'll send a signal over to the actual storage of the villagers and tell you which ones need to go and which ones need to stay, pretty much. But that's not finished yet, and yeah, I've just pretty much got in the system to hold the values for which ones are on and off and whatnot. But yeah, so that's pretty much this selector panel so far, and that's the whole villager database project so far. I will show you the redstone that I've designed for that. But anyway, there's not too much else to show you except for this area down here, which is this was going to be the bulk storage area, but it ended up only being, yeah, a little bit bulk. As you can see, we've got all the mob drops, and then the slime farm was built, and that has been totally filling these chests, as you can see. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, this is pretty much where all the drops will flow from the farms and whatnot, or where they would have flown. As you can see, mob drops are coming in from there. I can just chuck my mob drops on there, and they'll go through into the thing, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's not super bulk, but it is yeah, it's got quite a few chests that can hold a few items for a little bit. And any Tazzcrafters that are watching, this is a bit of a weird place to do this, but any Tazzcrafters watching, feel free to head down and grab some slime balls, mob drops or anything. I'm totally fine with it. I'm not going to be playing on the server much anymore, so yeah, I'm totally fine with you taking any of that sort of stuff. Anything from my farms, anything like that, I'm totally fine with. And yeah, that's all good. Anyway, yeah, that's just about all for the tour of my base. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really happy with it, honestly. And I think I'm gonna get a screenshot for the thumbnail right here. Boom. I want to get the carrot farm in. I really want to get the carrot farm in. Let's see here. Can I... not really. I might have to exclude the carrot farm. I'm sorry, but boom. Okay. Anyway, with screenshots out of the way, I think it's about time I show you around the Tazzcraft testing v2 world. I've shown it in a couple videos, but not the whole thing, because I didn't want to spoil anything. But there's nothing really to spoil anymore, because I'm not going to be making any more episodes. So I'm going to head into that world and show you around that. And we are now in the Tazzcraft testing v2 world. You can see behind me, this is where the storage system ended up going. Looks a lot different now, doesn't it? Back before we started, you know, transforming this area and building it all. It's got a lot of trees and stuff. You saw a little glimpse of that, and let's... Here we go. Okay, so there's a lot to show around here. You can see the slime farm. I will get around to just about everything. But, yeah, so this is how I have pretty much been testing things. I've been half building things, seeing if they look good, and not building the whole thing, because that's just too much effort. And, of course, I want to see what it's actually like on the Tazzcraft world itself, before just building it all in a creative mode. So, in some of my first episodes, I ended up building this guy right here. This was what my base was originally going to look like. Quite a lot different to what it ended up looking like. Yeah, so this is what it was going to look like. I was going to have tubes going out here where you can go to different farms and stuff, different parts of the base, and yeah, this is what it was going to end up looking like. And I will say, I do like the blocks, the quartz blocks going around the smooth quartz in the middle. I think that looks really cool, and it looks a lot cooler if, yeah, there we go. I think that looks really cool. It's like a border to it, and yeah, I really like that. I might use that in a future build, but anyway, this is what was going to be. Basically, I was going to add some more layers. The wedding cake design, I called it, because it kind of looks like a wedding cake. And yeah, it was going to go up like this, and this was going to be the AFK platform, and it was going to have different farms in all of these layers. So in the top layer was going to be the entrance, and pretty much the way that would work is I was going to have the way to get up to the AFK platform is through a flying machine. I thought that was the coolest thing, but looking in retrospect, it probably would have got pretty annoying. Every time I wanted to AFK, I had to come over here by flying machine, and yeah, it would have got quite annoying. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to do. And right here is an iron farm I was going to build, and it's one of the most efficient iron farms you can build. It's really cool. 1.14.3, I think. It probably works in 1.14.4 as well. And there's an iron golem up here. I don't want him, and I forgot I had strength. I was just going to hit him, but I ended up killing him. Now, if you're curious as to what this is, this is only temporary. This was me working out how I was going to get a zombie up to the iron farm, because this was going to be one of my projects that I was going to do very soon. I was going to do that before I decided I was going to leave and join the Unknown Empire, or before I was invited to the Unknown Empire and decided to go ahead and join that one. And yeah, there's basically a zombie spawner down here. I was going to get him in a minecart, send him up here, get him in a flying machine going all the way up to the top here. If we just zoom all the way up here, you can see he was going to go into a flying machine. I was going to send him off all the way along this rail and into the iron farm right there. And I was going to do that for the villagers as well and all that. And yeah, that's pretty much how that was going to work. So you can see some other stuff that actually did end up getting built, like this, like the recording studio right here. This did end up getting built, and yeah, as you can see, I only built a little bit of the roof and, you know, stuff like that until I decided, yep, this is a cool design, I'm going to build it on Tazzcraft. And yeah, now over here, this is the villager database thing. This was how I was originally going to do it, and it's fairly similar to the current design, except, yeah, there's a few differences. Like this it was only going to dispense one item. Of course, though, I decided that that wouldn't be very good, so I didn't end up doing that. And, yeah, so there's not really too much else to say about that. I never ended up building any of the redstone in this testing world either. I don't want to spoil too much that's going to be coming up, but, yeah. So, now, up here, what is this? I'm sure you've been wondering what this is, and I'm really proud of how I did this little terraforming, I guess you could call it. Terraforming type thing. This was going to be a scoot farm. So basically, you get your turtle eggs, you place in your turtle eggs, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And when they hatch into baby turtles. When the baby turtles grow up, the hopper minecart that is underneath here picks up all the items. And I don't know why I put hoppers here. They can't pick up any items. It's kind of dumb. Anyway, then the scoots get dropped off here, sent into this water stream into the main tubing. You can see how that was going to connect to everything. However, I don't know if I was going to end up doing that because it looks a little bit strange, I will say. Anyway, now right here, this was the halo. I was going to build a halo going right the way around, and I thought it would look really cool. You could come up here and just walk across, look across the base, and it was going to look really, really cool. And yeah, I never ended up building it, unfortunately. Anyway, now moving into here, this is where it starts getting really interesting. This is what I was going to originally have around the base, and now you can see those awkward bone block pillars make a lot more sense now, instead of just going randomly up into the sky like they do in the Tazzcraft world. And you can see I kind of messed up the design a little bit. Just a little bit. I put the hoppers behind instead of in front, instead of on top rather, not really thinking about how that would fit in, and I didn't actually put the hoppers on the bottom. Yeah, that was kind of dumb of me. Anyway, you can see the grass on the ground there from when I did this with a little bit of /fill magic. I was going to say world edit, but it's really not world edit. And down here, this was the two designs I was going to do. I was going to either have this ring going around here and this bottom platform right here, or I was going to have a grass area where pretty much this was going to be villages. Villagers were going to roam around here, go and then go into their little houses, their futuristic looking houses, and go to their workstations and all that. But then I realized their AI isn't really that advanced. They can't pathfind that far to their workstations, so it was kind of pointless. But of course I could have simplified it, but I did end up going for the villager database route, just because I thought it would be cooler, and unfortunately it never really got finished. Anyway, now down here, this is where I was going to put, yeah, this cool little thing. I think it was a bit of a contrast. I thought it was pretty cool, and I really liked how it looked. But again, never finished building that. I might do that in my own time. It won't take very long. Just probably the lime terracotta will take the longest. But yeah. Anyway, oh yes, this tube right here. This was the design going down in this tube. However, I don't think this was a very good design because you could lose a few items if you drop them like that, and maybe they could land on the side like that and not quite make it down to the bottom, and that could have not been great. Oh, I forgot about this area. Okay, so this was an idea that I had. I wanted to make a counter for all the items that come through, and I actually ended up making a design for this in the Tazzcraft testing world. Oh no, in the regular testing world, sorry. Getting them confused. Because this is just a generic binary counter that takes up a lot of space and is not really very good. But yeah, I did end up coming up with a better design for that. But yeah, you can see iron, mob drops and all that, they're coming through. It's working pretty well. And yeah, I never really intended to build it like this on the Tazzcraft world. But I was going to, yeah, build something similar to it. Anyway, now if we fly up here, you can see my attempt at what I was going to do for an auto storage system. I always get it mixed up. Auto sorting storage system. That's the one. Right in here. This was going to be how it was going to be. So you have 2 layers of chests here, 2 layers of chests here, and you have item frames that show the items that are not on the front of the chests because it's a pain. You can barely click on the chests. It's the worst ever. And yeah, that's pretty much how that was going to work. And yeah, I was pretty happy with the design I actually, well, kind of came up with. mostly stole from a YouTube video that I found by someone, I can't remember, XCOM or something. I can't remember. If I can, I'll put it on the screen, but if not, don't worry. Anyway, that was pretty much my whole plans for this area. Oh yeah, that's right. Originally, the mobs were just going to drop right the way through, but the issue is when you're up at the AFK platform, the mobs would get so far away that they would despawn before they hit the bottom. And yeah, I had to end up building a killing system right at the top in that little bit there, which actually made a pretty cool reason for this to exist. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. But another idea I was going to have for this area is I was going to terraform the whole thing to be like that, pretty much. I was going to have it come up like this and, you know, do all these different bits just like that and, you know, come up the side and be all pointy and stuff all the way around this area, but I never ended up building that one right there. But yeah, that's pretty much my whole Tazzcraft testing. I will show you a couple of designs in my testing world of yeah, different things that I was going to do, and you know what, I'm going to keep this part in the video. Anyway, if we head over here, you've seen this in videos. This was my little villager database testing area. Oh, sorry, I've been talking non-stop for about half an hour. I need to take a breather. Okay, now that I've had a little bit of a breather right there, I'm going to show you off some of my sorting system designs. So I started off with the designs down here when I didn't really know how hopper mechanics worked, and it took me a little while to actually get it to work, get a working design, but I eventually got one that only works for the front row, and then I got it to work for all rows, but it wasn't very compact. So I turned to YouTube to look for different things, and I found this little design here for a, it was more of like a item elevator type thing for this one. But if we head over here, you can see that, yeah, this is my design that I think ended up working. I'm pretty sure this one ended up working, which is pretty cool. It works for all of the layers going past here, and it's pretty cool. But over here, this was the final design I was going to use. As you can see, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's pretty good, and I probably could have compacted it a lot. Yeah, what was I doing? Jeez. Anyway, yeah, so this is the design I was going to use. Obviously, it could be compacted a little bit more, and this locks the hoppers and stuff. It's got a lot of issues, but yeah, this is what the general outline of what I was going to use, and you can see the item frames were going to go there. I changed it up a little bit from the original design, and yeah, that was going to be the design for the storage system. I can't get it right. I can never get it right. And then I ended up building it, like, the clock a lot more compact from this monstrosity right here just to this little guy right here, which was, yeah, that turned out pretty well. Anyway, now I'm going to show you the redstone bits for the villager database that I never ended up building, which is over in the Tazzcraft testing world over here somewhere. And I just realized I said Tazzcraft testing world again. Regular redstone testing world, that's what I mean. Anyway, let's do a dramatic reveal of the redstone right here. There it is. So this was going to be the decoder circuit for the whole system. So pretty much, I'm not going to go too in-depth of how it'll work, but this basically, these RS NOR latches is how it stores the values of what comes through. The most recently, you can see it's got the item filters for all of the different items right here, and you can send those through and, you know, send the different things. And then it would go through this little decoding process with this redstone torch tower, and it'll boil it down to one little redstone pulse that comes through, and that'll you know, toggle one of the things. So this is what I was originally going to do for it. No fancy bizarre decoders like that thing. It was just going to be this. How simple and how wrong I was. Yeah, so I was coming up, I put this design in, and then I realized it's not really, you can't really put it like just one block down. It doesn't really work. So then I went ahead and tried to come up with some more T flip-flop designs, and this one works, of course. You can see right there. And then I came up with another one right here. I think I actually came up with this one. yeah, it's fairly simple. And then I discovered this one also does work. And yeah, it's pretty. That's probably the simplest one. And then I probably could have realized that that does exactly the same thing, and probably would have worked better. But you know, anyway, yeah, I guess you live and you learn. But what on earth is this? Anyway, guys, for the final time, that just about does it for this episode of Tazzcraft. I really hope you enjoyed this episode and this whole series, both Season 1 and Season 2 of Tazzcraft. It's been really good. It's been really fun. Yeah, through this series, I have improved my videos so unbelievably much that, yeah, it's absolutely crazy to me how much my videos have changed over time through this series. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think that just about does it for this episode of Tazzcraft. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, whatever. Be sure to check out everyone else, all the other Tazzcrafters in the description, please. Their videos are really good, most of them. And, okay, no, that makes me sound a little bit rude. No, all their videos are good, and I definitely recommend checking them all out. Anyway, guys, that just about does it for this episode of Tazzcraft. Third time doing this closing. If you enjoyed, please, I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, whatever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.